Is a set of readings. I decided to read from a book called Close Cover Before Striking, which originally was at the green cover, but it's a bunch of matchbooks at the cover. Close Cover Before Striking. So, and a lot of the pieces in this are very political, which I thought was entirely appropriate for the great, when I hear this man speak as our feature this evening, he can talk about anything political or otherwise, and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. So I'm like, this will be fitting if I start this evening by reading a few pieces that some of you may have read and heard some of them from before. But this is, and I'm going to do two poems in a very, very insanely sharp piece of prose. This first one is called The Carpet Factory, The Shoes. I heard a story today about a little boy, one of many, who was enslaved by his country in child labor. In this case, he was working for a carpet factory. He managed to escape. He told his story to the world. He was a hero at 10, but the people from the factory held a grudge, and today I heard that the little boy was shot and killed. He was 12, and people complain to me when I buy shoes that are made in China. And now I have to think, did somebody have to die for these? Will somebody have to die for these? Thank you. Thank you, because a lot of pieces in the book for a bit when because they're... Anyway, and actually that was said in one of the intros for it, said, these are things that will just make you think. And so this is another one that is like that, and this one is called Taking Up the Brain. I'm a med student, and for the past few weeks we've been working on a cadaver. At first, I didn't want to know anything about him. I covered the head of the guy. I wanted to actually pay him some respect. I didn't want to think that this person lived before I dissected him. I had a hard time taking up the brain because, that's where the memories are. That's what makes him, him. It's not so hard now. They get the bodies from the morgue. They're homeless people, mostly. No family. It's not so hard now.
That's a whole nother part.
Isn't it though? Isn't it though? So I'm going to end this with a
That's all she writes.
Yeah, copyright shit, good for us. Like people want it. Shush, woman. I love it. I'm going to do a very short piece of prose, and yes, these are supposed to be things that make you think. So this piece is called Tell Me. Envision a person unable to achieve their dreams. Maybe it's due to forces beyond their control. Maybe it's an inner flaw. That doesn't matter. Just envision a person that has a dream in life and can work as hard as they can all of their life, but never be able to achieve it. They are doomed to never getting what they think they want from life. Now envision another person who has the power and manages to achieve their goal. And they realize that achieving the goal didn't make them happy. And so on to the next goal. And they work harder and harder, and they manage to achieve that goal as well. And achieving it didn't make them happy either. And then all they do is do this over and over again until they realize that they will always be unhappy all of their life. That all of their goals that they achieve, they will never make them happy. And they are doomed to this life of everyone admiring their successes, but feeling miserable because nothing is capable of making them happy. Which of these people have it worse? the one who never gets their dream. But the concept of a dream exists, and it doesn't to the person who destroyed their dream by achieving it. Is the second one better off? At least because they can have wealth and admiration, but they aren't happy with what they achieve. In fact, they're irritated by the fact that other people analyze them so much with their life, and they think they're so wonderful. They have no hope. But did they ever have hope while trying to achieve any of those dreams or goals in the first place? Why am I even asking these questions? I've been trying to figure these questions out for myself. If someone has any idea, someone, anyone, tell me. Read a few pieces from Close Cover Before Striking. These are emotional pieces, and I'm going to end. I have no idea what you guys will think, but this is a short one called All the Loose Ends. She brought her son enough clothes to keep him tied over for a while, made sure everything was in its place. She went over to her parents' house when they knew they would be out of town for a few days, and only long after she died did her parents come home and find her in the garage. The son missed a few days of school, and all his teacher could think of was that his mother bought her son some extra clothes, tied up all the loose ends. But this is the emotional book poem, and they're supposed to make you think. This one is called Filled with Such Panic. I heard a woman jump from the John Hancock building, 50-something floors. I work on the 32nd floor of the Civic Opera building. It's older than the John Hancock, and we have regular windows there. You see, the John Hancock has bulletproof windows that don't just open up, whereas we have windows that we can just slide up and down, like the ones you have in your own home. Sometimes I open the window, stick my head out, and look out on the street. The wind is so strong when you're up that high. Sometimes we spit out the window. A few times we threw a paper airplane out the window, watch it soar down Wacker Drive. I never stick my body out past my shoulders, and I'm one of the more adventurous ones at my office. I can't imagine looking out the window and then going out past the shoulders, opening that window all the way, and just going out. I'd be filled with such panic. I did the wrong thing, I'd think, and then I'd struggle to find a ledge to cling to before I'd start to fall.
You stand in the box and you like looking down and out in space.
And there isn't glass?
No glass, that's all.
But there's glass there. It's like versus just sticking your head out the window where you feel like wind ripping
Well,
by
there's
you.
one of them that doesn't have glass on the bottom, but you don't know what it is until you step on it.
Cellophane.
It's a population control.
Exactly.
It's in the Darwin wing.
Are those Darwin Award winners? Probably.
What kind of meeting is this?
As I read before, two poems and then one prose piece, I'm going to read one other prose piece. This is entirely different from the others, and this is called Leaving for Work. You're walking down the street. It's morning, and a man tries to mug you with a knife. It's a nice street, you're thinking. There's no litter here. The garbage day is the same day as your sister's in the suburbs. How strange. You pause, you don't know how to react to actually this mugger guy. And then another guy walks up behind you, another regular Joe. He's not with the mugger guy trying to jump you. He's just walking down the street, probably on his way to work like you. So then this mugger then tries to mug him too. So the other guy pulls out a gun, a regular Joe, and this lady from the house down the street calls 911, and you're thinking to yourself, why does this regular Joe have a gun? And who should you be more scared of as you're sitting there on the street? So then the police come in like 2 minutes, and you're safe then. And the mugger guy is still there, and then the Joe with the gun is keeping him there by holding this gun to him. And so then you're just talking to the officers, and then the other officer on the scene sees the mugger guy stab the regular Joe, the guy with the gun, and then tries to wrestle him for the gun. The mugger guy then shoots the guy with the gun while they all in that struggle, and that other cop, shoots the other guy, and he kills the mugger, and you're just standing there on the street, less than 10 feet away from all of this, and all this just happened right in front of you on the street, right in front of you, and you didn't even get to say a word. Who is dead? Who is alive? What just happened? Are you scared? This is America, you think, and you don't know whether to laugh or cry as you hear a car engine start, and you look, and just a few cars away, a person is leaving for work. It's a bunch of pieces that makes it think. So, because this is the book, Close Cover Before Striking, it's stuff that's supposed to make you think, and all of these pieces are supposed to do. If you do that, I'll do this really quick. I've got a few pieces here. This one is called Accounts for the Need of Gun Control. One day a man decided to kill people, a shooting spree. So he went into a gun shop, picked up a pair of assault rifles, a number of rounds, each of 100 bullets. And he bought these things. He didn't need a permit or a license, just walked in and out. And then he went into an office building to take out his revenge on the world. My wife was there. Took 5 bullets in the back. I wonder if she suffered before she died. We went on a ski trip last Christmas. She looked so beautiful in the snow in her hair. This man didn't need a license, and yet I need a permit to retrieve my wife's ashes from the crematorium. He didn't just do this to her, or to the other victims. He's tortured me and our baby girl. Our girl is darling. She's blonde, like her mommy. We have to live with this trauma forever. This should not be how we should live. As my girl's 2nd birthday approached this year, I asked her what she wanted. She said she wanted to see Mommy. Guess what she's going to want for her 3rd. I know, it's hard to... This one is called Me or Him. Yes, there's a whole section here about gun violence. This is what you're getting. This is the section I'm pulling it from. So whether or not I believe all of these things right now, but I'm just giving you the...
Do you produce this book?
I produced this book. This is the 2nd printing of it. It is just out. It was originally in a neon green cover, and now, because it's still closed cover before strict, yes, it matches.
Janet, do you have like certain themes?
In this one, there was a violence issue, but there is humor in this as well. I just happen to be pulling these things out at the beginning. There's things about Mom, and there's short stories, and there's essays, but I'm just going from the beginning, and I'm doing these whole things together. And if anybody's interested, it's available for sale, or if somebody wants to buy this copy off of me, because I guess I can get rid of it, I'd be happy to, because I'm like that. I don't know. This is called Me or Him. Someone pulled a gun today, opened fire on a crowd. I suppose it's nothing new. We've all thought of doing it before. What stops us? What makes one man decide life is so worthless, decide that he is so angry that the consequences don't matter anymore. What makes him different from us? All he does is do what we've never thought we could. Who is more crazy, the one who acts on their violence or the one who holds it in? I've thought of shooting people before. Of course I keep that locked away inside of me. I don't act on my impulses. Of course not. But who is more crazy, the one who acts on their violence or the one who holds it in? Who is more crazy, me or him? I'm getting all the gun ones out of the way. And I know my bullet man husband, the husband doesn't like this one, but it's an interesting one to think of. This is gas stations and gun control. There are more gun dealers in America than gas stations. In California, more children are killed by guns than by car accidents. The rate of violent crimes is down last year, but the number of deaths by guns has increased. Gunshot wounds of people under 16s doubled in the past 3 years. A young person committed suicide with a handgun every 8 hours. 538 of 4,968 gunshot deaths last year were accidental. My niece was over at her grandparents' house and she saw a rifle sitting on the hallway floor. And she said to me, "Hey, that's a gun." And I told her not to touch it. Guns scare me. But she was fascinated. And I was more scared. There are more gun dealers in America than gas stations. But these are interesting to read at the same time because people have beliefs and they're fascinating to hear. And so this was a short one, totally different, about violence, but not about, no, it's not about guns. This one is called Domestic Violence in America, Nashville, Tennessee. And this one is about the stick. There's a couple of them, so this is a stick reference poem of domestic violence in America. According to accounts, her husband allegedly locked her and their 4-year-old son in their house for about 40 hours. They were essentially hostages. The husband then allegedly beat the woman while the son watched. This was the stick he allegedly used to keep her in line. It looks like a metal broom or mop handle. It's hollow, and you see here is the bend in it from the hitting. The bend looks like a twist of a garden hose. And this bloody knit glove, it was tied here at the end of the stick so that when he allegedly hit her, he didn't scar her. Isn't that funny? You can tell that the son was there for it all, too. He doesn't talk much at all, but he never leaves his mother's side. She limps down the hallway now, and he follows.